Hi, I'm Willie. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. Happy Saturday, March 4th, 2023. We are live, 9 a.m. Central. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. So, trying something new with the lighting. We'll see how that works out today. So, hello to everybody in the comments. We got Jeremy and Cody are with us. And yeah, we had to take a dog to the vet today, get some vaccinations. So I was running a little bit behind getting the live scheduled out there. But if you need IT consulting, you need to reach out, bounce some ideas off of us, go to williehowe.com, click hire us or contact us. And, we respond to all those messages. Somebody responds. So thanks again for being here. You might have noticed the name of the live stream this morning is All the King's Men. And we're going to talk about that. If you are in the U.S., the current administration published a national cybersecurity strategy this week that's kind of interesting. So let's go over to the comments. Good morning, Jeremy, Cody, Dr. Rob, Sean, Ryan, T-Century, Jordan, good morning. Ryan says the thumbnail looks great. I appreciate that. So usually I buy Adobe, and I try to do my thumbnails myself with that, but Canva has been absolutely fantastic, and it's got all kinds of things too, like templates for short form videos, that I want to use. So yeah, Canva is helping me do a great job with those. Morning, Cecil. So let's see how many people we've got here. 23 of you, only 5 likes. Make sure you smash that like button and let the algorithm know that you're over here having a good time. So real quick, let's take a look at this. So here is the PDF. All you got to do is, and I can edit the description, but this is the National Cybersecurity Strategy, March 2023, 39 pages. Pretty lengthy document that this is just an overview, right? This is not the nuts and bolts. So nuts and bolts are probably a much larger document that I don't know if I have access to it or not. I don't know if they put that out there. I don't know if they're just aligning this with NIST and DoD objectives and bringing everything together. However, I do know that I've been watching the chatter online ever since they put this out there. And one of the things that people were worried about was open source software, because one of the things that this is going to do, you see here, right here, number 3, it's going to shape market forces to drive security and resilience. We will place responsibility on those within our digital ecosystem that are best positioned to reduce risk and shift the consequences of poor cybersecurity away from the most vulnerable in order to make our digital ecosystem more trustworthy, including by shifting liability for software products and services to promote secure development practices, and ensuring that federal grant programs promote investments in new infrastructure, blah, blah, blah. This right here, this is what's got people's kind of hackles up about this whole deal. So what we're going to need is we're going to need much more detail about how this is going to play out. I've seen comments that range from good luck to I'll stop developing and designing software to, okay, now the acquisitions are going to start. So basically, if the government's going to force this, what's going to happen is you'll probably see a lot of open source projects fold up and go away, ones that aren't funded well, ones that we all enjoy. You will see places like Microsoft probably snatch up a lot of companies. Google will snatch up more companies. Amazon will snatch up more companies. And then we will end up with these just ginormous, this happened, AT&T, the government had to break AT&T up, right? Because And I think that if they're gonna force this, they're also gonna force people out of jobs. So people will probably end up being out of work depending on how this goes. There's a lot. Just this one sentence of the whole thing could mean so many different things. So I'm going to look. I'm not one to jump to conclusions unless I have most of the facts. So I'm going to have to do some more research. If you've been doing research on this, let me know over in the comments what you think. Let's go over to the comments. Hey, good morning, Dave and Gibby. Let's see. Here is the overview. Ryan, I will put this in the, and then here's the PDF. Put that in the chat as well. So it'll be interesting. Good morning, Richard. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out in the end. It will definitely have economic impact. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be very interesting. So, and there's a lot of moving pieces to government. So, and who knows, maybe, we're going to have new companies pop up out of nowhere, but it's very difficult to get a foothold and get to the size of a Microsoft or a Google or an AWS or an Oracle. So, Michael Cooper, I hope you have an awesome weekend too. Morning, Richard, if I didn't say good morning. So go ahead and start asking your questions and let me know what kind of stuff you're doing. As soon as I'm done with this, I am finishing a phone system that I've been working on, and I got to get it dropped off at the Up store this morning. So this is definitely interesting. What else are we going to do? We're going to invest in a resilient future through strategic investments and coordinated collaborative action. The United States will continue to lead the world in the innovation of secure and resilient next generation technology. Man, a lot of buzzwords in these documents. Reducing systemic technical vulnerabilities in the foundation of the internet and across the digital ecosystem while making it more resilient against transnational digital repression. That's a mouthful. Prioritizing cybersecurity R&D for next-generation technologies such as post-quantum encryption, digital identity solutions. I mean, this is a huge undertaking, and I'm assuming that this is how it works, right? They care certain times of the year and certain times of their careers, right? They really focus on some of these things. So this is 2023. We're going to be having an election 2024. So I could see they'll start taking some of the low-hanging fruit here and probably doing it. And this is one thing, this liability shift. I mean, that's what compliance is, right? If you deal with PCI, SOX, anything with PII, HIPAA, everything is about liability shift. And so that's what's going to happen here, except if it happens, it'll have the federal government behind it, not just the PCI Council or JACO or whoever's doing your HIPAA stuff. You know what I mean? Like there'll likely be some teeth in it. But ensuring federal grant programs promote investments in new infrastructure that are secure and resilient. So there is going to be grants program. Now, if I understand the way that this, I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be open to small business, government, things like that. Now, they already did release FEMA money for municipalities, but how it worked was they took the money, FEMA took the money, and they gave it to the states, and the states then administer it to the municipalities within that state. And there are certain requirements, like in Illinois, you have to have a .gov, and there's a few other things off the top of my head. The .gov was the one that I was concentrating on because it takes a while to get a .gov issued. But even small villages and small municipalities in Illinois are getting their .gov so that they can get the FEMA dollars and things like that. So this will probably push that forward pretty fast, I would have to imagine. So let's see what we've got here. Sean says it sounds like an acronym word salad. It definitely does sound like an acronym word salad. Jeremy says, is this supposed to be the Cyber New Deal? I I don't know. I don't know what they're, I think, I mean, so if you all don't know what Jeremy is referring to, the New Deal, which is when the federal government infused basically private sector and states with large amounts of cash, and our interstate system came out of that, and a few other things. So we'll see what happens. Ryan says, we've been working on a camera upgrade at a church. Pretty sure they pulled some from the daycare to install the previous system. Simply awful. Not sure what that means, but if you've got cameras in a daycare, there is definitely some legal liability things that church should be dealing with. And let me ask you this, Ryan: do you have your PERK card in the state of Illinois? And are you licensed to install alarm-based systems? In the state of Illinois, security cameras fall under that. So you got to be careful who you're telling you're installing security cameras, because a lot of those security vendors, there's one in Pekin that I know will call the state of Illinois on folks. And there are some in Peoria that if they find out you don't have your PERK card and you're not licensed to do security work in the state of Illinois, that's why we don't do security work. We don't do cameras. I have somebody that I outsource all of that to. We will do the configuration, but we won't do the actual install. So just got to be careful there, Ryan. All right, what else is going on over in the comments? If you're just joining us, 43 of you, 15 likes. Make sure you hit that like button. But we've been talking about the Biden-Harris administration's national cybersecurity strategy. So what else are we going to do? So we're going to be developing a diverse and robust national cyber workforce. So once again, then probably those grants and things like that. Anytime the government does something, I mean, it requires huge amounts of participation, huge amounts of cooperation, and don't forget, it takes huge amounts of money, right? So you're going to see, I'm assuming, and Jeremy is probably right, this could be like the New Deal of our, the Great New Deal of our age, because this is going to take massive amounts of cash infusions to private business, to municipalities. And what I have to wonder too is how involved are the insurance companies going to be? And here we go. We're going to forge international partnerships. We're going to leverage international coalitions and partnerships among like-minded nations to counter threats to our digital ecosystem through joint preparedness, response, and cost imposition. So it looks like we're going to try to get somebody to share the cost. Increasing the capacity of our partners to defend themselves against cyber threats, both in peacetime and in crisis. So it sounds like we're either going to provide people or money or hardware, combination of both. Working with our allies and partners to make secure, reliable, and trustworthy global supply chains for information and communications technology and operational technology products and services. If you don't know, Huawei is pretty much banned in the U.S. along with Dahua and Hikvision. They're not banned in the U.S., but you can't. Well, I think there's an embargo on Huawei goods, but Hikvision and Dahua, all federal installations, they don't meet the requirements, so you can't install those at federal facilities. So go check this out for yourself and let me know what you think. Maybe if you all give us emails and stuff about what you think, we can put something together and share it with the public. So back over to the comments. It was a joke. Looked like the previous system was installed by a toddler. So you've already, though, talked, Ryan, about how you're dealing with the camera system. So just you can't walk it back. Just be careful. T-Century, yeah, the government is very careful in the things that they say, and rightfully so. I mean, the government is the framework that is supposed to hold us all together, right? So they do have to be careful what they say. Aztec2 says, I wonder as a small IT provider, would this shift liability to me if I install a service at a client that is exposed to the public, or would it fall back on the creator of that service? I am assuming that the liability is going to fall on you and the software creator, but that's a huge assumption because I don't have all of the facts yet. Because here's who's going to hold you accountable. that company's insurance company should be holding you accountable for best cybersecurity practices, such as MFA, making sure that VPNs are used so RDP is not exposed to the internet, all these things. And then I'm assuming that the federal government is going to, and so that's where nobody really knows yet. And so that's where we're getting a lot of the issues that are going to be coming along with this. Because right now, until they roll out the rules, we're kind of guessing at the moment. But I would say, yes, there is going to be liability for both of you. There should already be liability for you now if you're the IT provider who's maintaining that infrastructure on a contractual basis. I would say if you're not in a contract and they're not paying you ongoing fees, that's a different story. But you could still be liable if the installation was not done properly. Maybe, I don't know. Cecil says, I have 25 GXP 2135 I bought from an office that went out of business. Nobody knows the passwords, web or device. Grandstream does not allow factory reset without passwords. You can factory reset, Cecil, right from the menu on the phone. So if I go to, this is my GXP 2170, and if I go to System, Factory Functions, hold on, it's not Factory Functions. Yeah, if I go to System Configuration, you can see right there that there's a thing that says factory reset. I think you can see that, but that's where I'm at on the phone. You should be able to do it, Cecil, right through there. And this phone is password protected. Every phone has to have a password. So you'll have to probably touch the... Cecil, here's the other thing that you could actually do, Cecil. If you have a UCM, Grandstream UCM, you could put the UCM on the network with the GXP 2135s, create a template that has a new password, and zero config them, because you don't have to have the password for zero config. So that is another option that you could do. You could just hostile take over those phones. Okay, so Dr. Rob clarified a little bit. As long as the camera system is not connected to law enforcement or fire, is not supervised by a licensed security professional, does not connect to an alarm system, is not a security camera. So, Dr. Rob, I don't know, is that state of Illinois language? So this is what I'm going to tell you from experience, Dr. Rob. You could get in trouble in the state of Illinois. I have seen and know people that have had other people call on them, the state of Illinois, because they're not licensed to install security cameras and security products in the state of Illinois. Morning, David. Joe with Learn Blue Iris is in the house. Joe, you've missed a lot of the conversation so far. So, but Dr. Rob, that's probably going to vary from state to state. But if that's Illinois state language, send that over to me. I'd love to take a look at it. So, and we just had to turn down an install in St. Louis because James knows the laws and stuff down in St. Louis, and we can't pull cable. We're not supposed to pull cable, so we won't without being properly certified in St. Louis, and also having the security contract, blah, blah, blah. So, good morning, Dale. Morning, Michael. So, yeah, so Dr. Rob, those are for Texas. No problem. Anybody who's, Dave Robertson says, you beat me to that method to reset those phones. Yeah, I was just sitting here thinking about it. I was like, oh, yeah, zero config. Zero config can do whatever the heck it wants. So, for those of you just joining us, we've been talking about our administration's new cybersecurity strategy. And the one thing out of all of this that everybody that I've talked to keeps bringing up is this little section right here where they're going to do liability shift. So they're going to shift liability for software products and services to promote secure development practices. So we don't know exactly what that means, but taking it for face value, and then a few other things that are peppered throughout the document is that they could be they're going to hold software manufacturers software manufacturers liable for security vulnerabilities in their software. So it's definitely going to have some impact. The other thing we don't know is we don't know what the timeline, what the rollout looks like for this. We don't have any of the other framework. So, morning Saturday or morning Sunday. Today is Saturday. Michael, good morning. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how this gets rolled out. And I'm sure, like I said, there's going to be probably tons of money thrown around. We're just going to have to all be patient and watch how this rolls out. So, are there any other comments, questions, things I can answer for anybody? Dave Robertson and I are in agreement. By the way, Grandstream is finishing their certified professional for their networking gear, and I am supposed to be able to take my GCT here very soon, working closely with them. And it'll be interesting to see because they're actually teaching the class themselves this week at WISP America. So we'll see. I'd be interested for those that are going to WISP America. And of course, it's the very first class being taught, so Grandstream has a special price for that. So I'm going to be soliciting folks' feedback that take that certification class. So David Anderson says, in Illinois, as long as you don't record sound, I thought it was fine. No, David, cameras in Illinois that is not correct. So if you're going to record sound, you should have signs that say you're recording audio. You cannot put cameras in any place in Illinois where you have a reasonable expectation of privacy. My go-to with cameras in Illinois is to never record audio in Illinois. Just don't. You don't have to worry about posting signs. But I will tell you from a liability standpoint, if you have security cameras that are up and not working, if you give people the illusion that someone is monitoring the cameras and they're not, you are setting yourself up for huge liability. GCT, Grandstream Certified Trainer. GCT, not GTC. Sorry about that. So it's definitely going to be an interesting couple years. And what I had said before is, Joe, I think the government will take the low-hanging fruit over the next 2 years, because, elections, right? So anytime we can take a victory lap, and it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. So I'm not on either side, but Dave Robertson says another UCM class with the networking part included plus SIP troubleshooting. So Dale says you should go to WISP America and do a bourbon hunt while there. I would love to, but it's next week, and I just can't do it yet. So David Anderson, a lot of the things that I deal with here in the state of Illinois have been vetted by legal counsel, so you're going to have to do some searching, and I recommend talking to your own legal counsel about some of those things. But Dave Robertson says another UCM class with the networking part included plus SIP troubleshooting. So what my plan is for 2023 is once I have my Grandstream certified trainer in their network products, we're going to do a 1-week training that will be the networking and the UC, Unified Communications, the UCM. And we're going to certify you both on those. And then the last day will be an advanced course that is outside of the certification because I have to teach certain things. I have to stay inside of the bumpers, right, for Grandstream. But then that last day, like 6 hours of that day is going to be like advanced troubleshooting. So Cecil says, I tried that too, Willie. We will reach out to you, make sure we're doing it correctly. I believe there is a setting in the GXP 2135 config that prevents zero config reset without the setting turned off. Wonder if that's a newer firmware thing, so we'll have to see. Record audio but claim you. So ignorance of the law is not, the law doesn't recognize ignorance of the law as an excuse, right? So yeah, good luck arguing that one. But all right, well, I want to thank all of you for being here on this fantastic Saturday. I've got to get this phone system finished and boxed up. So, like I said, if you need anything, reach out at williehowe.com. Go over there, click Hire Us, contact us. Let us know what you need, and someone will reach out to you as soon as possible. Once again, I'm Willie. I want to thank you for being here. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.